What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, Motivation Monday, and I believe this is episode 6, lesson 6, whichever you want to call it. And guys, today we're gonna be talking about trusting the process, trust the process. And before we get into it, make sure, guys, the first episode is now available on the Spotify, the Apple Podcast, all those things. I put it on my podcast just so you guys can stay motivated, because not everybody, maybe you don't want to listen to a video, maybe you're working out doing something and want to listen to some motivation. Hey, now you got it in the podcast format. And for those watching, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button on the podcast. Make sure y'all, I think you can subscribe to the podcast, matter of fact. And hey, make sure y'all leave some 5-star ratings, especially for those that enjoy these and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, we finna jump into this. Trusting the process. So what does trusting the process look like? I know many times when we talk about trusting the process or trust the process, or we hear that and we think it just only means like patience, your time is coming, right? But not many people tell us what are we going to face within that process. We just think, oh, keep putting in the work and, the results going to come, which is true. But I feel like most times we do got to realize that there's going to come hard times. Those hardships, adversity, all those different things comes within that process. That process of us waiting, there's going to be some things that's going to make us want to quit, that's going to come our way, which is part of the process. Like, you working hard, blood, sweat, and tears, that's part of the process. The victories, the losses, all of that is part of the process that you must trust. Like, we can't throw in the towel once we face a little adversity. We can't throw in the towel once things don't go our way. And that's what most of us do. And then we get to thinking and feeling, maybe this is not for me. No, it's for you, but can you handle it when things get tough? Can you handle it when things get hard? That's the most important thing about trusting the process. Like, I feel like on my journey, this journey for me been long. Like, I've been doing a lot of things for a long time. And I really just started seeing the results, just last year, this year, right? But I was prepared for the success that I have gotten, because most times we want success, but we're not prepared for it. Why? Because we don't know how to react. Like, trusting the process, you got to know how to react to certain situations. And really, everything is about understanding and how you react to those things. And that's one thing that I had to come to grips and understand, that like, life was not for us to figure out. It's all about understanding. Once we understand this thing, that helps us along the way. That helps us with how we react to certain situation, because there's always a time for everything. And in adversity, how are you going to react? Are you just going to be mad, throwing the towel, start putting the blame on others? Or are you going to use that and, use it to your advantage? Because sometimes when we face adversity, we just look at it as a bad thing. But I was always known, that's when that blessing is coming. When things start getting tough, that blessing gotta be around the corner. It's just for us we gotta expect it. We gotta be waiting for that thing. Like, usually when things are going wrong, especially in my life, just giving y'all my experience, like, I knew when things were getting low, things were not going as planned, I was like, younger me would be like, dang, maybe this not meant to be. Older me, now I'm like, all right, something good has got to be coming for all this to be going on. And guess what? That's all a part of the process. But are you going to wait? Are you going to wait for it to surpass? Because even though most time when it comes to the process, sometimes we just stop what we're doing and thinking, oh, let's wait till all the bad stuff pass over. No, if you sitting in the rain, guess what? It's still going to rain on you. You got to get past that. Because guess what? If you notice, like, it only rains in certain spots. Like, just because it's raining in one city doesn't mean it's raining in other cities surrounding it. Or just because it's raining on Johnson Street don't mean it's raining on this other street over here. And that's what we have to realize. Like, it can rain in different parts of one little city it can be raining on one end and other people may not experience that rain. And that's how it is with life. Like, some of us, it may be raining, but we got to keep going to the other side. We can't just sit in the rain and get wet. And that's a part of the process. And how can I trust the process? What can I do in this process? When you're in this process, this is really when you need to work on your mindset. Like, you don't want to work on yourself when you have nothing left to give, because most times we will find ourselves doing that. I posted a picture, I think on my Instagram, and it was just showing like when we should take a break versus when we actually do take a break. And when we should take a break is when we still at least got a little half tank in us. But when do we really take a break? When we're on E. Like, you can't decide to get gas when you're out of gas, because now you're going to need help pushing your car to even get to the gas station, right? So if you got gas, take that time for yourself. Trust the process. Start working on yourself in the process and start learning how to react to certain situations, changing your mind. Because most time we can frustrate ourselves and disappoint ourselves because of what we expect. If you're striving and trying to reach something good in life, hard times are going to come. They have to. Why? It has to see how we're going to react to things. And if you're not reacting in the right way, guess what? You're going to start thinking negatively and having those wrong, and you're going to start expecting the bad outcomes. Like, in the midst of adversity, you got to think of those good outcomes and those positive outcomes, because it's going to happen for you. So trust the process. Trust what you're doing. Trust that, hey, one day is going to be your day. And as you keep moving forward, as you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to see it. But if you give up right now, you will never be able to see where you could have been. Like, I tell people, like, I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. And I was just thinking about this. I was telling my wife, been doing YouTube for 5 years. And in year 5, that's when I actually started seeing the results I was so expecting. Why? Because I kept burning myself out, kept, draining myself with certain things. And I finally switched it up. And when I switched it up, it started working for me. But I had to trust that process. Because I always, even though I wasn't consistent enough, I always kept posting. I always kept believing that something will happen. One day, something will happen. And it finally did. But that's a part of the process. I didn't see the results until 5 years. But that's according to me. That's part of my story. You might not receive the results for another couple of months. You might see the results in a year. You might see the results in 2 years. It might happen faster for you, but are you going to trust the process? Are you going to put in the work? Because I thought I was doing a lot before, and now I find myself doing even more, and I'm seeing the results. Because we have to be determined. I talked about being committed on the last episode. Like, you have to be committed to what you're doing. If you're not committed, not passionate, like, it's not going to go nowhere. Like, if you're waking up every day thinking that and hoping and knowing and wanting things to change in your life, but you getting up frustrated, you getting up not motivated, you getting up not inspired, then that probably not going to happen for you. Why? Because you're already not motivated and not passionate about something. What is something like, I always hear, especially Eric Thomas, like, talk about my passion wake me up. And I started understanding that. Like, we got to be passionate about things. Like, we got to be able to get up, no problem. We can't blame that, it's Monday. No, we can't point the blame at anything. Because when you're passionate about something, when you're determined, you're going to make that thing happen. But if you find yourself complaining so much, maybe you're in the wrong thing. Maybe you're in the wrong thing, because doing YouTube, I do a lot of videos, but I never complain. The only thing I complain about is that I'm not doing enough. And I start doing even more. So, but you got to be passionate about something. If you're not exceeding expectations for yourself, then that means that certain thing that you're doing, you might not be passionate or motivated at all in doing that. Find something that motivates you. Get in something, because you just never know what might work out for you. But you need to find that happiness and that joy in your process by doing something that you know you're passionate about and knowing that it's going to turn your life around. Because many of y'all, And I found myself in this as well. Waking up, you're probably going to a job that you're not even seeing growth in that job. Like, why are you still there if you're not seeing yourself grow in that? If you have something else that you're interested in, you should be doing that as well on the side. Like, there were many times I would get off of work and come straight home and start doing something like real, especially when I was writing my book. Like every morning I get up, do videos. There's a point every morning I get up, write on my book. More times when I get off of work, do videos, write books, do all these things. Like, you got to put in that extra time, especially if you see it working. Like, those are things that I'm passionate about. Passionate about writing, making content, all those things. So guess what? Even when I'm tired, I still strive to do those things because I trust that. I trust that what I'm doing is adding value to people and it's making an impact. Like, what are you doing that is going to help you make an impact? What are you doing that is going to help you stay motivated and inspiring you to keep doing what you're doing? Like, it's a lot, especially when it comes to trusting the process. So y'all got to trust your process, but in the process, you will make progress if you're putting in the work. So always remember that in order to progress in it, I gotta work hard. Like, you can be in your process. Some of us probably still stuck in the same process for the past couple of years. I know I was a long time, like with YouTube, I was still stuck in that same process because I found myself being motivated, then not being motivated, being motivated now. So once you stay motivated in that process and start working even harder, start exceeding expectation, that's when you're going to see the progress. And that's when you're going to see yourself being able to move forward. So that's what you got to understand. Like, that process, there's a process in your progress. So, and that's probably another something I can talk about later on. But hey, you got to progress in life, and you're going to progress in life. Don't be stuck in the process. Trust the process, but don't get stuck there. Like, we know what it takes. We know what it takes to exceed expectations. We know what it takes to go to the next level. Just got to do it. You just got to be motivated and inspired to do it. But guys, that went a little longer than I expected. But that trusting the process is very, very, it can go long. And I can probably have people come on that I can interview about the process, because it's so much that you can do in that process and really just believing. But with belief comes work. So that's what we got to understand. But guys, that's all I have for this episode. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button if you're watching. Share the podcast. Let me know, comment. Let me know how y'all think it is, because I have some other stuff on this podcast as well. But trust your process. Hey, keep going, keep fighting. You got this. When adversity hit, don't throw it in the towel. Keep that towel on you and keep fighting. All right. But that's all I have, guys. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.